Welcome everybody. This video is for the Chapter 12 practice test for geometry. Number 1 is a vocab question matching the terminology to the picture. So line UI, and line UI is this. Okay, since they called it a line and not a segment, that means it extends beyond the circle. So we should be calling this a secant. So line UI is a secant. So for me, that's going to be option B. Okay, this is a secant right there. Second one says segment QR. So since it says segment, it's talking about just the piece between Q and R. So that's going to be a chord. Okay, chords have endpoints on the circle. The third one says line ST. So here's line ST right through here. What it's doing is hitting the circle once right at R. It's hitting each circle once right at R. That's what tangents do. So that's called a tangent. The fourth one says MNQ, okay, angle MNQ, that's from here to here to here. Okay, that's an angle that's on the circle, which is called an inscribed angle. All right, and then that leaves UXY. UXY is right here. And the vertex is on the center, so that's called a central angle. So that would be A. Okay, knowing your vocab. Second one, find the circumference and area of the circle, round to the nearest tenth. So if this is our diameter, then our diameter is, or then our circumference is just pi times that diameter. So 18 times pi, and then looking at 18 pi in our calculator to the nearest tenth, that's going to be about 56.5. inches. Okay, area, we have to use the radius of 9. So the area is pi times 9 squared. So that would be 81 pi. So that would be to the nearest tenth, about 254.5 square inches. That's going to be capital A. So you can match those with options at the bottom. That one's a multiple choice. Next, number 3, find the radius of a circle with a circumference of 21.99. So if I know that the circumference is 21.99, I know that 21.99 is equal to 2 pi r, so I could divide both sides by 2 pi. When you do that with your calculator, be careful. Maybe put the 2 pi in parentheses so that you don't end up with something bigger than what you started with. That gives me 3.5 for radius. Okay, and now I'm going to use that for my answer. Okay, sometimes they have to go take the area after that, but that would be it. 21.99 divided by 2 pi. Okay, next, find the diameter of a circle with an area of 90.25 square meters. So 90.25 pi is equal to pi r squared. Okay, what I can do is divide both sides by pi. And that'll eliminate these. So I have 90.25 equal to r squared, so I need to take the square root of 90.25. Square root of 90.25 gives me 9.5. That's a trick answer because that's r and they want diameter. So the diameter is that times 2, so 19. Next. Question 5. So question 5, this is 2 chords. Okay, when these arcs are marked as congruent like they are, that means that the chords that cut those off have to be congruent. So I know that this chord has to be the same length as this chord, which means I can set them equal. I can set 9x minus 1 equal to 41 minus 5x. Okay, I can solve this by adding 5x to both sides and adding 1 to both sides. Okay, that gives me 14x over here and 42 over here. That means x is 3. If you punched in x equals 3, that might be why you clicked on this video to see what you did wrong. Okay, nothing wrong there, but you're missing a step. So what you need to do is plug that in to answer EF. So EF is plugging it into this one. So 41 minus 5 times 3, which is 41 minus 15. So EF is going to be 26. Okay, next, we have number 6. So we know that DE is equal to GF, so that means these red pieces are equal. If the red pieces are equal, okay, then these green pieces have to be equal. Okay, so HJ is 3x plus 20. JI is 15x minus 64. Those have to equal each other. Okay, we can set them equal, then we can solve and find JI. So I can do 3x plus 20 equal to 15x minus 64. If the chords are equal, they have to be the same distance from the center. Subtract both sides by 3x, then add 64 to the other side. So that would give me that 84 is equal to 12 times x. So we're just doing 84 divided by 12, which is 7. So 7 is x. Again, they want ji this time. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it in for ji, which is 15 times 7 minus 64. So 15 times 7 minus 64 will give us 41, which should be the same length as HJ, so you could check your work with that. Question 7. So they want the measure of arc JML. They want this arc. Well, this arc is this angle times 2. Inscribed angles are going to be half the measure in degrees of the arc. So the measure of angle J or arc JML is just 88 times 2. Okay, so that's going to give us 176, and that's our answer. Angles on the inside are half of the arcs on the outside. Question 8. If ABD, which is this one, ABD is 6x plus 26, and ACD is 13x minus 9. They want the measure of arc AD, which is this. Okay, well, if you can tell, the green one cuts off the blue arc, and so does the red one. So if the two angles that are marked blue, red and green, since they cut off the same arc, that means they have to be equal to each other, which means I can set them equal to each other. So 6x plus 26 equals 13x minus 9. Okay, let's move the 6x to the right. Let's move the negative 9 to the left. 35 is equal to 7x. So 5 is equal to x. Okay, what they want is the measure of that arc. Okay, so we have to plug in. It doesn't matter which one we plug it into. So let's get the green angle. So 6 times 5 plus 26. That equals 30 plus 26, so 56. Okay, that's this angle. So if it's 56 on the inside, I have to do 56 times 2 to get the measure of the arc on the outside. So this would have to be 112. Okay, which should be one of our options there. So looks like this one says, option D for me says x equals 5 and the arc is 112. Question number 9. So is x a point of tangency? So looking at if something is a point of tangency, that means that this would have to be a right angle. Okay, we want to know if that's a right angle right there. The way we can check if it's a right angle is if Pythagorean theorem is true. So one other trick with this, if this is 2.7, so is this. So I need to use the hypotenuse as adding these together. So that would be 4.5. So what I want to look at is 2.7 squared plus 3.6 squared. Is that equal to 4.5 squared? Okay, so 2.7 squared plus 3.6 squared. This gives us 20.25. Is that equal to 4.5 squared? Yes, because that's 20.25. Since this is true, we can say yes. So yes, because of this. Okay, 2.7 squared plus 3.6 squared is equal to 4.5 squared. Okay, this one just says find x. So, a little bit trickier algebra here. looking at this. So if we're going to have to assume that this is a tangent, that should probably be in the directions. But we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to find this x. Tangent lines are perpendicular to the radius or diameter. So we have x squared and 12 squared as our legs. We have x plus 6 squared as our hypotenuse. So that can be a little tricky. We have x squared plus 144. This is really x plus 6 times x plus 6. And that's something that we need to FOIL. Okay, you get x squared. You get a positive 6x here and a positive 6x here. So that's going to give us 12x's and then 36. Okay, we can subtract both sides by x squared, and what's going to happen is those are just going to cancel out. So this isn't a FOILing or factoring problem. And we can solve this the rest of the way. So we can subtract 36 here. We have 108 equal to 12x, and then 108 divided by 12. So x is going to be 9, and that's it. Okay, so x is 9. That's all they wanted for that one. I'm going to do one more for this half of the video. So we'll go through number 11. That'll be halfway. Let me fix this picture so it's not bigger than the screen. All right, so what they're asking us to do is find the length of WY. So they want this length right here. Okay, well, what's happening in this picture? So I have two tangents. YX is a tangent, YW is a tangent. If I have two tangents that start at the exact same place, then they have to be equal to each other. So this is another one we're going to set equal, solve for x, and then plug it back in to get what they want. So let's move the negative 2x to the right. Let's move the positive 1 to the left. We get 42 equal to 14x. Divide by 14. That means that 3 is equal to x. Okay. If 3 is equal to x, we can answer the question. The length of WY is 43 minus 2 times 3, which is 43 minus 6, which is 37. You could check by plugging 3 in right here. That would be 36 plus 1, which is also 37. So that's numbers 1 through 11 on the practice test. Pay attention. Look for the other video if you have questions on numbers 12 through 22. Thank you for watching.